Okay. Hi everybody, it's Brian here, and I haven't posted on my YouTube in a while. I just haven't really been up for it. So, because I had to do some video editing and I wasn't really up to that. So what I'm going to do is try to record more often, but I'm going to just do a straight webcam feed because it's a lot easier. So I wanted to just show you what I picked up in a few months. I picked up a lot more since I last posted back like 2 years ago, but this is the stuff I recently picked up within the past 3 weeks. So I'll let you know. First, I'm going to start with some Nintendo games, which Nintendo is my favorite that I collect for. It has a lot of great games for it, and I'm still finding them every time I go out. I have about 200 or so Nintendo games now, but my goal is to get all of them, all 730, 20 games. So let's start with Nintendo. And this is Nintendo 8-bit, for anybody wondering. So in no particular order, we're going to start here. I got Rolling Thunder, and I'm not sure what this game's about. I haven't played it. It's by Tengen, which I always liked their unlicensed cards. I always thought as a kid they were weird. Yoshi, which I really liked as a kid. It was like a puzzle game, which you kind of, if you play Yoshi, you know you make like sandwiches between eggs with enemies. Paperboy 2. Now, I've never played, which is odd growing up in the 80s and 90s, I never played a Paperboy before, and I always wanted to try because I always heard that music from the Paperboy that's very, very familiar. And I picked up that, and I actually picked up Paperboy 2, but I actually picked up the first Paperboy as well, and it's right here. And this is the one where I had to play. I can't believe I never played it. So I picked up both Paperboy 1 and 2. And one of my favorite games growing up was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and I loved it so much that I had to get the remake when they lost the license for Mike Tyson when he got into a little trouble. They didn't renew it. Just Punch-Out, and they replaced him with a character named Mr. Dream, basically a palette swap. Well, not a palette swap, but they've replaced him. This next game I've been looking for a long time, and I finally was able to get it, and I was excited to get it, and you guys, a lot of you people probably know it. It's called Shatterhand. And this game, growing up, I saw it in Nintendo Power, and I always wanted it, but I never even played it. And now I finally have a copy, and I've been playing it, and it's very, I don't know if my skills are rusty, but it's not too hard. But you got to, anybody who plays classic games know you got to, play the levels a few times before you get used to it. But it's a great game. Highly recommend it. This game is pretty bad, but it was $1, so it's called The Legend of Cage, and it's not the best game. It's like a side-scroller game, fighting typical, but it's not the best game. That's all I can say. One of the best games, baseball games. Nintendo had a lot of baseball games. One of the best was Baseball Stars, and I recently found Baseball Stars 2 right here, and haven't played it yet, but if it's anything like the first Baseball Stars, amazing. This game I remember running as a kid. It's called Shadow of the Ninja, and it's like a Ninja Gaiden clone, but it's super hard because you only get 5 continues. 1 life counts as 1 continue, and you can only continue 5 times. The enemies take up absurd amounts of hits to defeat. So I'm talking a regular enemy takes like 5 hits. You can play with 2-player cooperative, makes it a little easier, and it's still a fun game. I just wish the enemies didn't take that many hits to destroy. This game, I'm a big fan of the James Rolfe, as anybody knows, and a lot of his games that he reviewed that were bad, like the LJO ones, I haven't picked up because I remember playing them and they're not very good, but I decided to start picking them up. And this one is Back to the Future. Not you guys know what that's about. I'm just going to leave it at that. This game is one also that's very unique. It was licensed by a character that did pizza for a company that begins with a D, Domino's Pizza, and it's called Yo Noid. It's a very interesting game, and I never understood why the Noid was in a game. It was kind of weird, but Capcom made it, and what it was it was a palette swap of a game in Japan. I forget the name, but it was actually a ninja instead of a Noid. But to sell it over here, I guess they swapped out. I'm not 100% sure, but I heard this. Don't fact quote me on this, but they swapped him out for the Noid. So that's kind of interesting. This game I haven't played it yet, but I love the box art, and it's called POW Prisoner of War. It's an SNK game, which means it's probably an arcade game. So we'll give that a shot, see what that's like. This game is another one of my favorite movies. It probably is Total Recall, so I had to pick up this. Haven't played it as a kid. It's an Acclaim game, so who knows what it's like. That is my Nintendo 8-bit collection I got. Next, I'm going to stick with Nintendo. I'm going to go with the Game Boy, N64, and Super Nintendo. I'll start with the Game Boy and N64 first. Okay, for Game Boy, I recently got this on the 3DS Virtual Store console. It's Wario Land 3, and I really liked this on the Virtual Console on the 3DS. It was very fun. The graphics were amazing, and I just had a very, very fun time with it. So I finally have a cart for it. So N64 now. I got about 4 N64 games. The N64 I've been trying to collect for because I have an okay collection, about 30 or so, but I'd like to get more since there was only, I don't know how many there were, a few hundred, but this game, I never played a game, this is actually, let me just introduce the game. This is StarCraft 64. I never played a StarCraft game. I was never really into RTS games, but I can't imagine how they put this on an N64 and play with just a controller, but interested to try that out. This game, now, I remember hearing about this game, and I never thought it came out, but apparently it did, and I saw it in the stores, and I was like, wow, that came out. This game is called Space Station Silicon Valley for the N64, and I don't know much about it, but I remember reading about it. Apparently you're in a space station, and that's all I know. But I got it for a pretty good deal. I think it was $10. Yeah, $10, which is a good deal for this game. Also picked up a complete in-box because Bomberman is pretty cool. This is actually not a Bomberman game per se. It's more of an adventure game by the looks of it, like a 3D platformer. It's called Bomberman Hero, and it's complete. Has the manual. The box is in really good shape actually, and it does have the manual. And anytime you can get a complete N64 game, I'm a sucker for those because I love the boxes on N64s. They're just amazing, amazing. This one I got. It came with it in a third-party like plastic case. It's Rampage World Tour, and I remember this in the arcades, and I played it. I think it's a port of the arcade one, but really fun game. Love Rampage. Still play it on the Nintendo every time I want to kill a few, half hour, 30 minutes, something like that with a friend. So that's the N64 and the Game Boy. Next, we're going on to the GameCube, which is one of my systems I've been trying to get into a lot because I never played this game, and this game was one that I hear a lot about, and this is called Pikmin. Now, Pikmin I heard a lot about, and I've been always wanting to try it out. I finally found a copy, and I'm excited to try it out. So that's the Game Boy, N64, and GameCube. Game Boy, N64, and GameCube. Next, I'm going to go into the Super Nintendo, which is my favorite console of all time. I'm getting up there and trying to get more and more games from when I was a kid that I wanted to play. I pretty much picked up a lot, most that I want. So now it's kind of finding, here and there, So I'll get to the Super Nintendo now. Super Nintendo, let's start with a very good role-playing game I played as a kid. My friend had it, I borrowed it, I loved everything about it. This is called Breath of Fire. And I actually got it, and it also actually had the manual with it too, which is a plus. Didn't have the maps, but, I got a good deal on it, so I'm happy with that. Another great game made by the guys that are called Blizzard now, but it's a classic game. I got it for Genesis too, but Super Nintendo always has a great place in my heart, and that's Lost Vikings. And Lost Vikings is a great game. I don't have to say much more about it than that. If you played it, you know about it. This game is based on a cartoon that I absolutely loved as a kid. It was, if I recall correctly, it was about a football team that gets sucked into a time warp back in Camelot, and it's called King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. And I still remember the theme song to this day. And this game is, I've never played it, but I love the cartoon, so hopefully it's pretty good. This I remember seeing. It's made by Sunsoft. Back when Sonic came out, afterwards they had a lot of mascots, Bubsy, and this is actually another mascot called Arrow the Acrobat. I haven't played it. I remember as a kid seeing it in magazines, and hopefully it's okay. I like Kirby, and this was one, once I saw it, I had no idea about it. I never played it as a kid. I don't know what it's about. It's called Kirby's Dream Course, so if any of you know, let me know what you think about it, because I do not know what this game's about. This game is one of the weirdest games I have ever seen on a Super Nintendo console. I had no idea what to expect. I had a friend over and we played it, and this game is called Mohawk and Headphone Jack. and the guy is actually naked running around with headphones on, and you just have to try it. It's beyond weird, and I was speechless when I tried it. This game is called Frantic Flea. I have no idea what it's about, haven't played it yet, but, you know, see what it's like. This is called the Brainies, which I got. I also haven't played it yet, but I like the artwork. These little fluff balls, I guess they're called Brainies. Don't know what it's like, but I'll give it a shot. Now this is a game by Atlas, which is one of the... Now they do some of the most fan-based, very good games that are very, very good for the DS in particular, but also, you know, PS2 had a lot of good Atlas games, but this is called Run Saber. But I'm interested to try it. As soon as I saw Atlas, I was like, you know, it was $5, so I didn't know anything about it, but Atlas, it can't be bad. I also picked up some instruction manuals that came with the games. King Arthur had one, Era the Acrobat had one, Kirby's Dream Course, and The Lost Vikings. So I usually keep those in like bags in a separate file folder, so I have them all good. Okay, also I picked up some random just Game Boy and N64 Super Nintendo manuals. I'm not going to go through them all, but Harvest Moon 64, I found one I needed. Mario Party, and I have Ocarina of Time, but I don't, or I have Majora's Mask, but I don't have the manual, and this manual is amazing just looking at it, so I have the manual for it now. Most are just standard. I got a Little Nemo Dream Master, and that's basically the standouts. I'm not going to go through all of them. Sticking with Nintendo, let's go through my favorite system so far of this, I guess you could classify it this generation, is the 3DS and the Wii. I'm a big Nintendo fan, but I love the 3DS. I think it's totally getting a bad rap. I think there's great games for it, and it's really starting to hit its stride. So recently I picked up a lot. Now this game, I always wanted to try this game, and it's Cooking Mama. I always wanted to try a Cooking Mama, so I'm going to give it a shot on the 3DS. I also picked up, this game is what I'm currently playing now, and it's amazing. I'm a little stuck right now, but it's an amazing game, and that's Resident Evil Revelations. I actually got the copy with the misspelling on it. Let's see if I can focus it a little bit. You can see right here, they spelled R-E-V-E-L-A-I-T-O-N-S. So that's a misspelling, but the game is amazing. Resident Evil Revelations, if you have a 3DS, pick this up. I also picked up, I didn't know this came out, and I saw it in the stores, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D. So I want to get through Resident Evil Revelations, and I'm going to pop this in because I've never played a Metal Gear Solid before. And I'll get to that. I have a little Metal Gear pickup from PlayStation here I'll get to. But it's funny, I might hold off on this and play what I got first for the PlayStation, but this I'm looking forward to. I also picked up, I don't have an RPG for the 3DS yet, I picked up Tales of the Abyss. And this was also on the PS2, if I heard correctly. I don't have it. I don't have a lot of PS2 games. But I'm looking forward to this. It's an RPG on the 3DS, and that's great. So, my 3DS collection has grown a lot. I have about 20 games for it now, and I love every game on it. Even the ones that are so-called bad, like Steel Diver, are still fun in their own right. So, very underrated. I can't stress that enough. Okay, moving on. We have some, let's go on to Sega. Sega Genesis, as a kid, I didn't have a lot of collection, but I'm building it up. And this game is called, now, Toe Jam and Earl, I remember that game. It's like a collecting game. You collected parts of the ship. This is the sequel, Toe Jam and Earl Panic on Funkatron. Much more of a platform game. A lot of people like it better because it holds up a little better, some people think, but I still want to get the first Toe Jam and Earl, but I saw this complete in the box with the manual's in great condition, but and I love the Genesis boxes. As much as I was a Nintendo kid as growing up, I had a friend who had a Genesis. I loved everything about the Genesis. Just the boxes, excellent. So that's that. Also picked up Double Dragon 3, the arcade game, which this looks completely different than the Double Dragon 3 on the regular Nintendo, which was insanely hard. Hopefully this is a little easier. So there's Double Dragon 3, the arcade game. Okay, Phantasy Star is one game. I've been looking for the first one forever, thanks to the Happy Console Gamer recommending it. but I only have Phantasy Star 3. But this is Phantasy Star 4, and I'm looking forward to playing that one and see what it's like. And I also have been picking up a lot of Master System games lately, and this one is called Cyborg Hunter, and I have no idea what it's about. A lot of these Genesis games I get are loose like this, and they're so cheap that I'll just get it and play it. And I've run into some games like this that I like, just like this, and this is called Cyborg Hunter, and cyborgs and hunters. It sounds awesome, so who knows? Okay. Next, we'll go on to the disc games I got. This first game is a Dreamcast game. I have maybe about 20 Dreamcast games now because I see them and I just can't pass them up because the Dreamcast was very underrated. I wish it would have lasted longer, and very, very good system. And this is called Plasma Sword. I have no idea what it's about. It's a Capcom fighting game, but looking on the back, it looks pretty cool, and I can't wait to play that one. This one is my friend got me this, and because we used to work together, and I never played a Metal Gear Solid before, and he just broke down and he bought this for me for Christmas. It was amazing, and I thank my friend, I mean, wholeheartedly for this. And that's Metal Gear Solid, and I've never played this game, and I think I might play this before I play the 3DS Snake Eater remake, just to see, because I hear great things about this game. But thank you very much. I appreciate it immensely. This game is for the Sega Saturn, and it's called Clockwork Knight. And Saturn games are very hard to find with their boxes intact, because for some reason these always get crushed. But I don't know what this game's about, but I saw it and decided to give it a shot. Okay, next I'm going to go through, my friend also got me these games, because I have a ColecoVision. One of the first systems I ever played was a ColecoVision, and that same friend who got me Metal Gear Solid, thank you very much. He gave me some ColecoVision games. So we got Space Fury, and this is by Sega actually, which is kind of cool. I didn't know they made ColecoVision stuff. Donkey Kong Jr., which I have Donkey Kong. I almost said Donkey Kong Country. I have the Donkey Kong on ColecoVision, which is one of the best ports of Donkey Kong. So now I got Donkey Kong Jr. And we also have Grog's Revenge, which right here, try that out. So thank you very much, and big thank you and shout out to my friend for giving me these. Thank you very much, Greg. His name's Greg. Thank you immensely. I appreciate it. Next, I'm going to go over I got some strategy guides and Blu-rays I got. So I'll go over the Blu-rays first here. This movie came out last year, and it intrigued me because it had Rutger Hauer in it, which anything with Rutger Hauer in, I love. And it's Hobo with a Shotgun. I've watched this twice already, and it's good. It's very, very good. You can't take it seriously, but it's hilarious and funny and very violent and brutal, but you can't help not to laugh. This movie came out, and it was one of the best, they classified it as a kid's movie, but it really was great. It really tugged at you and made you really feel just like owning a pet. And that's how you train to train your dragon. And it's almost, if you've owned a pet, it's kind of like that, similarly. But I'll leave it at that. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. This movie, it's a Ridley Scott movie, and I never seen a director's cut of it. I've heard the director's cut is 10 times better. That's Kingdom of Heaven. And I got it on Blu-ray. I can't wait to watch this again. And this movie I've never seen. It's Terry Gilliam movie. Sean Connery's in it, I believe. And I've never seen it. Want to see it. It's called Time Bandits. So, looking forward to that. This movie I wanted to see as well. Came out in 2010 or 11, somewhere around there. But I went to theaters to watch it, and there was a problem with the projector, so we couldn't watch it. So I finally picked it up, and that's Machete. So it was only like $9, $10 at Walmart. Had to pick it up. So that's my Blu-rays. Last but not least is strategy guides, which I love strategy guides, all the Nintendo Powers, which strategy guides. I love game magazines, all that stuff. Every time I see strategy guides, I pick them up. You can get them cheap sometimes. They might not be in the best condition, but it doesn't matter as long as they're games that I like. First, we're going to start with Super Mario Galaxy Strategy Guide. Now, Galaxy I still haven't beat yet. Galaxy is not my favorite of the Mario games, but it's very good. And Strategy Guide is in good condition. So we have Super Mario Galaxy. Next one is Metroid Prime series ended with the Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. Very good game, loved it. It actually has the poster in here. I think I'll put that up on the ceiling. I got some spare space. Hang that guy up. Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. And one of the best games, if you grew up in the 90s, if you were like me, your friends had sleepovers, you played Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64 all night, and this was one of the multiplayer games that you played and you knew every map by heart, and that's GoldenEye 007. I won't go any further than that. It's kind of beat up, but it was only $2.50, so it doesn't missing any pages, but still good. Now, a surprising thing about me, I only played one Smash Brothers game, and that was the one on the N64. And I was never good at Smash Brothers because I never really had it growing up. But just seeing the strategy guide, I couldn't pass it up because it had everything in it, the poster and everything, and that's Super Smash Brothers Brawl for the Wii, I believe. For the Wii? Well, anyway, yeah, I think it's a Wii. If I'm mistaken, forgive me. I'm not really a Smash Brothers huge fan, but the next one is a game that I want to get. I want to get the collector's edition because I love the original Duke Nukem back in the old days, and that's Duke Nukem Forever. And it's a strategy guide I got for $2.50. I mean, and this is insanely good quality. I mean, nothing's wrong with it. And I hear it's bad, but I don't know how it could be bad when it's basically Duke Nukem from what I've seen of the play, except I don't understand. I mean, what more were people expecting? But I'm going to get the Balls of Steel edition, which is like $20 now. You can get off Amazon. It comes with the Duke statue, so that's amazing. So that's about it. That's all I got for the past 2-3 weeks here. And like I said, I'll try to make more of these videos and see what happens after that. Okay, see you guys.